Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mark Lazelle. I'm the Business Website Director at Healy Consultants in Singapore. With me this afternoon, I have Grace Odhiambo. She's the Senior Client Engagements Manager at our office in Johor Bahru in Malaysia. Good afternoon, Grace.
Good afternoon, Mark. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm all good.
Good. Looking forward to the border opening between Malaysia and ourselves so that we can actually meet for the first time in about 18 months. We're looking forward to that, hope that happens sooner rather than later.
Definitely. Yes,
very good.
Definitely.
Grace, we are gathered here today to discuss a slightly different type of podcast. Normally we talk about engagements, and we normally talk about how an engagement pans out at the conclusion of the engagement. The podcast today is a simple one to discuss how we landed a client, the sales process, and how we were able to get a client on board as a client of ours. So will you just give us a little bit of background about this and how it transpired?
Yeah, sure. So sometime in June this year, a previous client of ours contacted Simone, who is our CEO of Asia office, and he introduced another client, actually two clients, and asked us to assist them with the corporate bank account opening. And we did proceed with the both clients, but one of them never responded, so we proceeded just with one of them, who was interested in opening an international bank account for his UK company that he had just set up.
Okay.
So this client is from the UK. He's a financial analyst. I assume recently graduated, but has set up his own entity in the UK, and he assists clients to discuss trading strategies, and he talks to portfolio managers and to highlight stuff like current market sentiments and price points and stuff like that. So he wanted to open a bank account for his newly set up UK entity outside of the UK. He already had a bank account in the UK, but he also wanted another bank account. So I sent him the initial sales email. And he called me back because I tried to call him and he didn't pick up. So when I sent him the email, he called me back and we discussed a strategy of how to open the bank account, and he was happy with what I was explaining to him, and he said, let's proceed. So then I sent him the engagement advancement email, and he later called me, I think a week later. He called me and said he's decided to set up a company in Dubai. So I asked him what kind of company he wants to set up and what exactly he wants to do in Dubai. So he said he wants to set up a private investments and market trading company for large project funding. So that's how the engagement started. And when I explained to him that there are two options, you can open a mainland Dubai company or a free zone Dubai company, and I explained the differences, and he was happy to proceed with a Dmcc, Dubai Multi Commodities company, and that's what we proceeded with.
Okay. Yeah. I think the takeaway from this, Grace, is the fact that it wasn't necessarily a complicated engagement. First of all, considering the UK as a possible, UK jurisdiction, but also then the pivot to Dubai on the client's part. Dubai, I think what it probably showcases is that we are able to think on our feet. Clients often have rapidly changing circumstances or dynamics which dictate which countries they are interested in, and we are able to think on our feet and adapt accordingly. And I think that's probably the takeaway from this, that the actual engagement itself was not complicated, but it was probably the fact that we were able, you were able to pivot very quickly to a Dubai setup. And obviously, you're sitting in Malaysia, but you have the capabilities to handle a Dubai engagement for a client in the UK. I think it probably showcases the geographical scope of your knowledge. Would that be true to say, Grace?
Yeah, that is true. I wouldn't take all the credit because I have assistants I'm working with someone from the Dubai office.
Of course.
And he's assisting me with the project management of this engagement from the start, because for our Dubai office, they do have access to the portal, the DMCC portal, which is how we have to submit the application and make the payments by the portal. So yeah, it's going quite well. It's actually basically complete. We just need to open the bank account for the client. So for now, the company has been set up. Initially, the client had to have a call with the free zone authorities to verify his passport and just for them to generally get to know him a little bit before they sent him the forms to sign and proceed with the registration of the entity. So that was pretty simple and straightforward. The initial questioning is where there was a little bit of back and forth, because they were trying to understand what exactly the client is trying to do with the entity in Dubai. So he had to provide some supporting information to show where the funding is going to come from and from which countries and is it from individuals or from companies. Our client couldn't really provide all the information because he's signed some NDAs with the companies that he's working with. So that would go against his what they had signed. So he just provided basic information to assist with the registration process. Yeah, so the registration is complete. We're just trying to set up the bank account, which requires the client to travel to Dubai.
Well, I'm sure that will be not too much of a hardship for him in some ways, so that's good. Grace, we'll leave it there. Obviously, we'll probably be talking again about this engagement once it has reached its successful conclusion. But in the meantime, it was very kind of you to give us an update on this particular engagement, and we look forward to speaking to you again soon with other engagements.
Yeah, sure. I'm very happy to speak with you anytime regarding any of my engagements.
Fantastic, Grace. You have a good afternoon.
You too, Mark. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye.